All right, this is really hard. I'm filming through the viewfinder. This is my EV screen. Manual on the left shows that I'm in manual. I'm at 1/250. My minimum or my widest aperture on this lens is 4.5. And you can see I do have a meter, minus on the left, plus on the right. The ISO auto is flashing, okay? And it shows that for 1/250, the ISO is 1,000. Now I'm going to push the EC button that's right by the, it's right next to the shutter release. Look at that, I got minus 1.0 on there, okay? Let's just center it out. Okay, and now come back and look at our screen again. So 1/250, auto ISO at 2000. Now I'm going to go to my thumb wheel right on the back side. I'll dial the shutter speed up to 1/500. The ISO automatically went to 4000. I didn't have to mess with it. Let's shorten the shutter speed by half, 1/1000. There's the auto ISO set at immediately 8000. And I'll dial it back down really, really low, 1/125th, and boom, now we got ISO automatically set to 1000. So maybe that's what I want for the portrait when I can shoot at 125. If, oh crap, here comes the birds, I dial this dude back up to say 1/4000. Yeah, look at my auto ISO. It automatically went up to the max. Okay, so crap, I can't do that. Let's dial it down to 1/1000. ISO is 8000, and so I shoot. Now, let's say that I'm shooting in the sky at a Black Hawk, and I need to expose more. I press the EC button by the shutter release. Okay, this gets me where I can now roll the same wheel that controls my shutter speed, controls EC as I press the button. So let's put a 2 on. It's really a bright sky. Okay, so I'll put a 2 on, and when I do that, 1/1000, you'll see, oh man, I'm out of ISO again. Okay, because it's too dark. So let's go down. Let's just say I want 2. So what do I got to do for a shutter speed to get there? Let's go down to 1/320. That you saw that automatically drop my ISO down to 9000. The cool thing is it did that for the EC that I have on there. I'm pressing the EC button. I got +2 on there, and this is the EC screen that shows that on the meter. When I let go of it, the meter is at 0, and I have to remember that I've applied EC. But the meter's at 0, telling me that no matter what I do with the shutter, watch the shutter speed on the left and the ISO on the right, I can roll that to 1/1600. I can roll it down to 1/80. This ISO will be automatically set. The meter will be 0 for the exposure compensation I have set on the camera. Okay, so if I don't want any exposure compensation, I just dial it out, okay? Watch 1/80, so that gives us 640. If I cut if I double the shutter speed, 1/160, it simply doubles the ISO. It happens automatically. I'm not having to chase it and dial it myself. So I didn't even know I had this meter. I don't use it. Why? Because I don't give a shit. I know the meter will be on 0 for the conditions that I have applied. If I don't want any exposure compensation, I make sure it's at 0. If I do, let's say I'm you shooting at rodeo, and you think your camera's hot, so you want -1/2. I don't have that. I could make it go half. But so there I put on that -7. Now I set and forget. The meter's at 0, and the meter at 0 is accounting for, it takes into consideration that overall EC of -0.7 that I have set. And so now as I change my shutter speeds, okay, the meter stays centered, and so for this combination, it's automatically giving me the correct ISO. I don't have to roll another freaking thing. I don't even have to look at the meter. I just have to look at my shutter speed. So man, does 1 over 1,000 work? Yep, good. You know, I can notice the ISO and say, ooh, it's kind of high. But to get the correct exposure, I don't have to ever look at that freaking meter. The proof, I didn't even know I had one. And I've got 3 of them, okay? I've got one through the viewfinder. I'm doing this video through the viewfinder. I got one on the back screen, and I also have one, I have one up on the top LCD. Pretty cool, huh? Now let me show the configuration of the camera, how I get to these controls. And we can look at the, if I can get the light right, we can also look at the LCD screen. Here we go. Okay, EC. I'll press the EC button. There's EC. That's how easy it is. Move that thumb wheel, set the EC. So let's just set it to 0, okay? So there's the combination on my camera right now, 1000 and f5 aperture, and we're real low light, we're off the charts. So now watch, I will, with my thumb, turn the shutter speed way down to 100, and you see the auto ISO setting ISO appropriately. Okay, there it's at 50, ISO 1250. All I'm doing is adjusting the shutter, and notice the meter always stays centered no matter what. Now let's put some EC on. Let's say I'm you and my camera shoots hot. I put a minus 0.5. I can only do 0.7 for example, okay? Now I come back, the meter is centered telling me, okay, dude, for 200 and f5 and the minus 0.7 you put on it, 3200 is the ISO. And now I can say whatever shutter speed I want, and it will automatically adjust that ISO. Also applying, push the EC button, applying that 0.07 correction. Now the trick in all this is you got to remember whether you got the 0.7 on or not, or whatever you have in EC. And that's not too, you know, that's really not too hard to remember. So you could theoretically go to your rodeo in the daytime and set your whatever you want, 1 over 2,000, you know, for you it'd probably be 1 over 5,000 or something like that, and put your minus 0.7 in there. And then all you have to do, oh, you know, what I want you to do right now is look at the meter. You see how the big minus over there? What it's telling me is it can't give me that. When you see the meter off-centered, and I don't know if I'd even notice that ever. I mean, I wouldn't do this knucklehead combination, so that's another reason I wouldn't see it. But if you see that meter off of 0, that means it can't give you what you're asking for, okay? It can't give you what you're asking for. At any rate, this shows you how I don't have to chase you. What you would do with my camera is press the ISO button and manually dial ISO, okay? And then have to look back and see what the meter is, you know? So I don't care I know what the meter is, it's 0. That's the beauty of auto ISO. And with these buttons right here, EC, correct EC with that, shutter speed with that, I'm always cognizant of my shutter speed, and it really makes me laugh that I didn't even know there was a meter on here. What have I had this camera now 3 years? You don't need a meter. You need the knowledge that auto ISO is giving you a 0 meter for the conditions you have set, even if you put an EC on it. That is just so super convenient. I don't ever have to take time to look at the camera.